Alright, there we are, guys. We are back for possibly the final game of the day. We even got you updated odds, so you know what's going on. Viper has been frozen on time on my screen because it's Gyro and Io. It's coming out. Does this mean they've lost though, Cap? Because I feel like new Gyro Io is pointless. Well, not pointless, but
I don't know. I think new Puck is being underutilized. I don't know. We'll have to see how this goes. Let's see what HellRaisers gets in return against this pickup. I still like Wyvern or Disruptor. Either one of those heroes is very good against IO combos in general, and I think they're two of like the best 5 positions in the game right now. So, sure enough, they take the Winter Wyvern.
the Winter Wyvern now. It's a pretty effective tool on the lane and beyond. We've seen how powerful the Wyvern can be, even if it's not necessarily winning that much at the moment. But it does have the Viper this time. The Viper, I don't think we've seen a tool today, is a formidable force. I know some of these CIS teams like to actually run it as a support. Probably not this game because you already have the Wyvern, but it has been done in this tournament already.
Yeah, a lot of people have experimented with like 5 Viper to see how it feels. I myself got dumpstered by Moonmeander when he was making his transition into support again, and he was playing some 5 Viper, and it rocked my world. Really obnoxious, but in the end, I don't think it's good.
No, it's like what do you do up the lane?
I think we have these experimental phase. You know, people tried to innovate and stuff, and they try and figure out. You know, like Dota players really get off on that, especially is being able to find a hero and play it in a different role effectively. Dota players love that shit. So whenever they see something like that, they'll try it because it's fun and interesting and new and it makes you excited about Dota. You know, that's why I keep on trying to play Wyvern Core, even though it fails. Because I want it to work.
Have you not seen? Has no one tried Chaos Knight 5 yet, Cap?
I have seen that before. I don't. That one gets an F for me.
Oof.
Viper at least gets a D. Like at least he's good enough in the laning phase, even if his team fight contributions afterwards are pretty negligible.
I'm surprised he gets a D. He's quite a nasty looking hero. But I mean, it's not bad if you have like the right heroes, right? Like if you have Skywrath, I think is another one. I think that was the combo that worked really well for Fly to Moons because they were utilizing what the hero does. But you never feel good if you're drafting around your support. It's the same reason why Grimstroke tends to feel very lackluster because if you grab it early, you immediately see teams afterwards go Doom, Lich, and it's like, okay, that's great, but you've drafted around support instead of around a core that's going to get money and XP, and you can actually pivot that to be an advantage of your draft. Like, supports are nice, but they should never be the definitive part of your draft.
Yeah. Going back to this this opening from OG, I like the Wisp pickup. I personally don't love Gyrocopter in this meta.
No.
At least compared to like the previous, patch after patch where Gyrocopter was kind of always near the top tier. Of course, he was like the reliable carry you can kind of always go to. He was a decent suggestion. Whenever I'm on panel and they needed a safe lane carry and I wanted something that wasn't a hard carry, I'd say Gyrocopter, like always. And you had like a 50% chance of being right. So I don't like him as much, but OG Seed, again, have been drafting a ton of Gyrocopter in this group stage. I think they played like 4 games of it. So I'm interested to see how, maybe they'll change my opinion of the hero. And they're certainly setting up with a nice lineup around it. Io, Abaddon now.
Yeah, Cap just giving away his tips for being a good panelist in the last patch now that they're outdated and useless to you. Juggernaut also doesn't work at all anymore. Juggernaut actually feels even weaker than Gyro does now, to be honest.
Yeah, Jug's probably like the worst carry in the patch right now. He's real bad.
But a good carry, the pseudo anti-mage at our times, has been banned out in the second phase. We don't get to see the Magnus coming out, making performance this game. Magnus almost feels like a red herring as well, right? Like we see plenty of games where he just farms and farms, and then it doesn't really amount to anything. But like,
okay. So here's my thing about that. I actually, I feel very strongly that one position mag is incredibly good.
Yeah.
I think it is close to broken. Two position mag, I think that's actually bad. I think you want this hero to be like just an AFK farmer, and he's like, you just look at the numbers. He's doing like, he gets level 20. He's doing like 400 damage a hit with a cleave. He has like 3,000 HP. Like the hero is just crazy wild.
No, I agree. It's the best way to think about it. Like I said, it is anti-mage, right? Because you've already got the cleave, and then you're buying a 4.2k item, which anti-mage does anyway. But you're able to have relevance on a higher level and buff other people up. And the thing about twos at the moment is you want a two that can be active, because whether he wins or she wins or loses their lane, you want them to be able to rotate the out lanes around the 10 and 20 minute marks to have an impact and secure the outposts and turn one lane win or even a loss into wins on the outer lanes, which is much easier to do as a hero with a lot more XP than anyone else. And Mag just doesn't do that. He maxes out his Q and his W usually, doesn't even think about skewer, and even if he has skewer, what does he really do? This is a hero that will farm a lot though. TB coming out instead. Definitely feels like HellRaisers are setting themselves up for the long haul with a few of these picks, but does this mean OG Seed? You can do decent with the Gyrocopter late game. It's not going to beat the TB on its own though, right? Even with an IO buffing it up.
It's like one of those matchups where you are a little bit weak to the enemy carry early on. Especially since he does have so many helping hands. Now the Vengeful Spirit buffing up the Gyrocopter, the minus armor and stuff. But later on to the game, you match up 1-to-1 very well against Gyrocopter. Pretty much since like 30 minutes plus, you're gonna feel pretty good. Like 40, 45 minutes, like no matter what the net worth, Terrorblade's good against Gyrocopter. 30 minutes, it's probably more about how much of a lead Gyrocopter has.
You don't have the best stuns either as well. Like, Venge can swap. The stun doesn't last very long, though. Abaddon doesn't have a stun. IO doesn't have a stun. So it's a bit hard to burst him down if you get into those late-game scenarios. I wonder what they need to bridge the gap. Like, some sort of strong stun, but what can you really play out of the mid lane that gives you that? Especially considering you're probably against a Viper here.
I was actually thinking more of a scaling mid. Let me see how they drafted Gyrocopter. Let me look back at that. So they played it with Legion and Necrophos. They played it with Meepo, Beastmaster, and they played it with Morphling. So all those lineups to me say that they don't operate with Gyrocopter being their like true one position, and they don't try and like just play the game fast and end it fast. They do draft a lineup that scales better and use Gyrocopter as a tempo controller. So I'm anticipating more of a hard carry mid, like your Invokers, SFs, ODs, those kind of heroes.
Does this feel like a type game where something like a Meepo could work? Probably not against the Viper on the lane, right? They do have final pick, so they could try for the kind of gotcha aspect. And...
no, it's really bad against Wyvern.
That's what this thing is like. Especially even the Viper can kind of punish you on the lane. It's not like you can get something like Huskar. So you just need something solid, like you said, that can scale. There's not really... I don't think there is actually anything left in the pool that just outright, haha, we win with the 10th pick sort of thing. Like, it just counters all your lanes and is able to rotate early.
I think OD is okay. But that's another hero that doesn't really deal with the stuff that Terrorblade puts out. Storm Spirit? Maybe Storm Spirit?
Yeah, it is a relatively free game. Like, they have got the lift, and the Winner's Curse. But other than that, there's not really a good way to lock him down.
Don't think you can build TA.
TA gets destroyed by the
Sniper?
Viper. Maybe, but they have the means to reach you with the Brewmaster, right? He just splits and runs in and looks for Sniper.
Yeah, probably.
Snipers, you know, they don't feel like it's the end of the world if they build a BKB, but usually look at Hurricane.
Like if they don't want to go for if they want to play this game faster, they can go. I don't know how Kunkka does against Viper, but like overall, I like the hero pickup because I need like some sort of catch. I like the fact that Well, Radiance is good in this game, but also you have the reflection, so that's kind of annoying. Lashrak, okay.
All right, so they are playing fast. I mean, this does
Jesus,
have...
I list like fucking 75% of the hero
and you
pool,
missed the one
the
they
mid
want.
lane, and I don't get Lashrak.
Hey, you know, let's be honest. Anyone who tries to predict this, we're working on logical ideas here. And we thought, especially considering how most teams play right now, they try and find a way to give themselves like a late game scenario. So maybe like a 2 carry versus the 1, because FN should eventually scale off. But I don't like this. I think this is good pressure, right? Like, you got the Abaddon and the Lishrak, so you should be able to delete most of the map early on and try and starve out Elmo before he gets to like 2 free items online and is ready to fight. And Lishrak does scale reasonably well. There's a lot of decent neutral items. Obviously, once you get 25, you just delete buildings as well.
I feel better about Lashrak because they have Abaddon.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would be fairly concerned that this hero will just get targeted too much in team fights. Like, between Viper and Terrorblade, I think you have 2 different cores that can identify the hero and lock it down. I also don't know exactly how this mid matchup goes, so I'm going to be watching it to be interested. I don't know if like Leshrak can win the matchup with lightning spamming, because I think otherwise maybe he loses to Viper and the Q harassment. But you're a range hero, so who knows?
More or less standard that you end up losing to Viper in general right now anyway. So I guess the other way you look at it is this a hero that can fall back and farm the jungle? It's not terrible at it. And the thing with Viper nowadays is you don't really build around the Nether Toxin, so you're not this flash farmer that you used to be.
What a surprise. I feel better.
We'll get to see how it matches up. Looks like HellRaisers 2.25 odds. OG Seed up at 1.6. So it's balancing a little bit more in HellRaisers' favor, which is no surprise when they do get the Viper. And you are seeing OG Seed run this traditional combo of the Gyro IO that in recent times hasn't had the same levels of success it's known for historically.
I see some people flaming the Rubik pickup, which I guess I didn't actually talk about. But Rubik is not bad here at all, because the Fate Bolt, like, Rubik is probably one of the more proficient 4 positions ever since Fate Bolt got like buffed up to a point where it's really good at securing CS and harassing and winning some man fights. And then on top of that, it's just a classic like telekinesis plus melee offlaner. You know, whether that's Brewmaster, Slardar, Centaur, any one of those combinations gives you a kill combo that might be able to kill somebody at top lane. And there's still some okay steals and stuff in this game.
Yeah,
I'll never begrudge Rubik in this current patch.
No, I like to think it's the cookie cutter support, right? Like, it should win you the lane or make you unkillable. However, if Bobo gets caught like this, not the case. Splinter Blast will slow them down. They should be able to just chase this on and kill him off. He doesn't want to salve, and it doesn't look like you get a chance. Splinter Blast does come out, slows him again. So Bobo, he could have salved then. He'll finally realize it's a good moment as he's just out of range for them to ever hit him. And he will survive the attempt. But yeah, back to your Rubik
now
point,
he
though.
just needs to be able to TP out without getting stunned, and he's not going to get that opportunity.
He'll get tipped.
Yeah, Bexy's just going to keep chasing him to make sure that he can never TP.
Oh, a sec. He's like, what am I doing? He just gives up on life. All right. That's one way to go and give Pexu first blood. All right, Cap with the smoker by the sounds of it.
Oh my god. I can't believe Pexu just TP'd out of vision like that. Like, he's hiding in the trees, he TP's out, and Brewmaster's like, that's it, fellas. I'm done for. I'm gonna miss too much of the lane. I got a suicide.
This chapter of my life is complete. And then you open the book again. It's like, wait, Venge is bot? Oh no.
He's gonna feel so stupid when he either realized it right away or he's gonna look back at the replay and feel so stupid. Because it is kind of the right play, right? He can't just be shut out of his laning phase for that long. And he can't TP away because he'll get canceled by magic missiles. So he kind of needs to die, understandably, but...
It's just, you know, you're basically gambling 50-50. Like, maybe Pexy's already started to run over the lane. But, yeah, it's a weird one nonetheless. You don't blame him, but it's just one of those depressing moments. He was chased halfway across the goddamn map. I think we give him a pass on that one.
Okay, so going back to our actually lanes. So apparently they do feel like Leshrac loses to Viper hard enough, which I wasn't sure was the case, but I assume it has to be because they're running a bad mid.
Who is dead?
Which he's gonna die. That's gonna be terrible lane. But Leshrac does pressure Terrorblade better than Abaddon. Abaddon, you actually hate playing against Terrorblade the entire game because you're going to get reflected the entire game, and your illusion can silence you. And part of the problem with that is you have to remove reflection by aphotic shielding yourself, and that means you can't actually aphotic shield other people.
Fair point. But at the same time, Jibe, who might have had somewhat of a game, is probably going to have no game now.
Yeah.
The Viper even has a DD. Good God, no. Is he just... I think he's just dead. Like, the Phonic Shield will not protect. And Jibe is just about going to live.
Oh, hold up. I got to watch this Bao Bao play again on the stream. Ignore me for a little bit.
I'm just gonna let just gonna let the laughs and Cap fill your voice. Your ears.
All right, back over to Jibe. Oh look, he's almost dead again. All right, cool. He's got 6 Why the fuck? What? Why does he have 6 mangoes? That's not useful. You can't cast a Phonic Shield that many times.
Maybe there was I'm checking around if there was a bug and a mango tree spawned quicker than possible. It doesn't look like it. He just likes the regen, Cap.
Alright, whatever. Yeah, you know what? He's probably tilted. He's like has to play mid against Viper for some reason. He's like, why the hell did you guys make me do this? So you know what? He can buy as many mangoes as he wants. I've done plenty of stupider things when I'm tilted. So.
I mean, he got thrown under the bus last game. He should be used to this by now. I don't think anyone's gonna judge him for anything he does in this game.
So the question for me is, are they pressuring the Terrorblade? The answer is maybe, if they kill him here.
Well, they will get him.
Nice.
Miposhka might die as well. Jesse's just gonna run him down. Spin the blast out. That was a step too far, Disco Pony. Vengeance had, but still dies. And
it's okay. He had no regen. It's actually ideal there that he trades his life for Miposhka. He'd like to be able to get the experience for it before he dies, but c'est la vie. He cannot afford any downtime. And what I mean by that is, like, if he's limping around at 200 health, he can't pressure the Terrorblade anymore, right?
Yeah.
But by dying, like, he comes back in the lane and he's ready to go again. They're in fact just gonna go on Miposhka one more time.
He could have thrown out the stun, but they're gonna hold on to it because they want to try and pressure Alma a little bit more, who has no metamorphosis for 80 seconds. And Jibe is just getting constantly pressured. This Viper Strike now. This is sad to watch, even though it is an Abaddon. I still find it sad to watch this. I'm gonna look away from this lane now. I'm gonna look at top, where Vampire may just be dead here, as he's already used the lift. Did he even get the rune? No, he didn't. They could dive this. That overcharge, I'm hoping that was on cooldown, Z-Freak. So he will get away with his life.
I mean,
barely.
All 3 of their cores are in the top CS, and you know they lost to Terrorblade, but Terrorblade was still winning that matchup before. So this is very concerning for me for OG Seed. I did not know how bad their lanes were gonna go. I thought Gyro Wisp would do okay versus Brewmaster, but Brew's dominating that CS department, 26-3. And then obviously I had no idea what was gonna happen with. I was like, huh, maybe Leshrac can do okay in that matchup. No, apparently it's so bad they put a bat in mid instead.
It's like, well, it's kind of that classic example for your pub games. You see Viper picked, you're like, well, one of us has to deal with it. You just start drawing straws to see who's gonna chuck themselves out the airlock first.
Pigeon, I'm gonna say that, like, there's a reason I didn't mention Leshrac. You know? I'm gonna act like
you were
analysis, and I never predicted Leshrac because of course you don't pick that into Viper mid, but you know.
I mean, even into TB, right? Because you think you can pressure, but Diabolic Edict against the armor. Well, they actually get Bobo as well. So there you go. It's finally going their way. Gyrocopter is going to carry the game. We'll ignore the Leshrac. We'll ignore the Abaddon. You can win one lane and win a game, Cap.
Yeah, I mean, because at this point, all Terrorblades default jungle, but once they pick up like level 4 or 5, it's just easier for them to do it. Like, they're gonna get the same amount of farm they will out of lane. That's how fast he farms jungle, and you don't have to worry about pesky enemy heroes trying to do things to you. So, at that point in time, Vengeful Spirit's kind of free to roam wherever, and he chooses to go top and gets them 2 kills. So, good job.
The conundrum is you can never actually punish the support left in lane, so Miposhka should be far enough back. This is kind of the beauty of Wyvern. You know, when we had BSJ nerdgasming about dead lanes all the time, this was the go-to hero for a reason.
All right, Jibe is
He's
lost
jungle
his
now.
borrowed time, and he's now had to shrine up so he can go back to lane against
die?
Viper. Yeah.
Probably. Death top. Vampire gets caught out. Barrage does too much damage, and Bobo, this will be the moment to TP. It's too late now. And the body block's coming out. Will allow him to get a kill on the Brewmaster as well. Well, the good news is that this top lane is going remarkably well for OG, and the bot lane as well. Chessie's going to find a kill. Elmo is holding a point of the Sunder. Chessie will throw out the stun onto himself, go for the TP away, and it's just about going to work. No, the Fate Bolt! Vampire just about gets in range. Snatch the kill. Aggression punish.
Yeah, again, just like, I can't praise Pexu enough for that read of this situation of like, let me just go top and like secure this lane a little bit better because I don't need to help my Leshrac anymore. That's such a good, important read. Good, smart 4 positions. I think this may be the most impactful meta. I don't know. Maybe the roaming 4 position meta, that was actually kind of crazy how strong 4 positions were back then. But this is close, this meta. I think 4 positions determine so much.
You have some flexibility, whereas you look at the previous patch, it kind of felt like you were locked into lanes, and then you would kind of expect your mid to rotate. Especially towards the end of last patch, it got to a stage where it's like the onus was on the mid to gank again, which was nice to see a return, but it kind of felt like you were just invalidating the roaming meta for force. This roaming is working. They keep showing up top. Bobo, protected by the cold embrace. Or is he? It seems to work against him against the Gyrocopter. Who would have thought it? Swap out. Poshka. There's a tax to be levied and a price to be paid. You got your brew killed and you'll die alongside him. Or will you, Madara? Just about get out the final hit. Viper Strike coming out. Pexu making sure FN can't chase through to kill off the Gyrocopter as well. He needed that as well because Madara is 1 hit from death. How's Chessie looking here? He's still only up at level 6. And for reference, Vampire is also 6 now and has stolen the Splurf. He's rubbing his hands together because he knows how long these stuns will last. And Elmo just has a free lane to farm because Jibe can't do anything to anyone in the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely the offlaner in the mid lane. He's got the least CS of all 3 cores, but, you know, he's plugging along. At the end of the day, what does a bad really need but levels and, like, a couple of mid-ish tier items?
He needs to be saving lives, apparently, Cap. Madara just got picked off. They hung around top. They'll be able to get the outpost, and they might find a kill on the Z-Freak as well. However, they didn't have the stun available.
Vampire has Split Earth.
Yeah, the whole... Did he have the whole... I clicked on him at the end. I assumed he must have had it on cooldown because...
He had it.
He forgot that he had stolen a spell, I guess, Cap. It happens.
It has no cooldown, so... Or it has no animation to it, so you just kind of, like, point and click it. A stun appears.
Maybe he looked and he went, Z-Freak, you're not even worth the mana.
I guess so.
Snooty approach
Not
of
even
a
worth
vampire.
my time.
I want you to leave, okay? I don't want you to stay here. I want you to go find your gyro and latch onto him like he's the only reason you can exist. Oh, Vampire, okay. He's got the Aphotic Shield. Hopefully he remembers to cast this one. However, there's a home missile coming for his face. Bobo will split up the duo. Does have the split available if need be. Jibe. Mango eating time. Vampire trying to walk away. They need to actually force the borrowed time so he retreats. It looks like Vampire is tanky enough. Feels like one of those look at me, I'm relevant plays from an Abaddon. And he's now going back to the Viper lane, which I can respect, but also is sad to see.
Dude, he's just a masochist, you know?
I haven't had enough.
Like, no...
Remind me how bad my laning phase was again, please.
Oh, Chessie, this is really important that they catch him here, and they do.
Yeah, Io doesn't even try. He's like, bye! Abaddon does deny the top tower, and they're in position to kill off Chessie. No chance of getting away from this. The Splinter Blast ensures he's slowed, and FN gets the kill.
Yeah, they committed way too much to miss out on that kill. So at least they get one core kill. Unfortunately, they did not kill any of his gold because he bought Boots of Travel almost right on the money. So pretty much no gold loss for Lush.
That is maybe my one big worry with HellRaisers drafts. I feel like every time I see a Brewmaster, unless he dominates his lane, he gets these awkward splits that maybe nets you one kill. It's nice, but it's not the Brewmaster of old, right? I don't feel like we see these brews that dominate the outcome of a team fight at the 10 and the 20-minute marks anymore. So there's a lot more pressure on the Viper and the TB to deliver this game, I feel, because Bobo is most definitely playing from behind.
Yeah, the what I really like about OG's lineup about right now is that with the Boots of Travel and Abaddon and even Gyrocopter, they have so many good ways to push lanes in and maintain map control while still being able to group up easy.
Yeah, and it's especially good in this type of game because you have that IO, right, for the reload plays, so you can just bring more heroes to any equation than Hellraiser should theoretically be able to. Vampire will stop Chessie's TP. Reload on the mid lane. And FN is just stunned up. They close the distance to get the kill. Meanwhile, top, they're trying to chase on the Chessie as they did stop his TP, but he's just too damn fast.
I like that. I would have swapped 100% if I was Pexu, but he holds on to his charge, which is really good.
Think like an Ember.
Get the kill without using a long ability like that. Great.
Enables him to now push on that tier 1, clean it up easily. And Bobo, I think he now has the Helm of Dominator complete, but this IM, it got a lot of buffs, indirectly and directly, but it still feels like the creeps die way too fast, especially in a game like this. And he might die even quicker. Swap, break the trees to make sure he hasn't got anywhere to hide, and just an easy cleanup. Wyvern, when his curse coming out. D-Freak's not taking enough damage though. They're stacking up on the Leshrac, but he'll turn around on them and just chase forward. Lift back on the Jibe. Thinking about Photic Shield, wasn't needed though. They'll chase down Miposhka. They should be able to reach him and kill him off here. Splinter Blast out. Z-Freak almost dies. Faybot as well, but the borrowed time comes out. Jibe will heal up. Z-Freak moves away. TB is still fun.
This is what a lot of this game's going to look like, by the way, is combined with like the map control they were talking about and how easily they can group up while still maintaining good creep equilibrium. Then that just means HellRaisers is going to be run at a lot, and they're going to be losing a lot of team fights, and they're going to be bleeding out. And the entire time, Elmo's going to be on the other side of the map, farming away because he's just not ready to fight yet. He's going to need at least 2 items, I think, to really be able to fight convincingly.
He needs like 10 more minutes, I'd say, before he's ready. And it's kind of concerning because I feel like OG Seed is hitting good timings, right? They've taken out half your out towers already. They're always pressuring Bobo. They're inflating their gold lead by a decent margin. He just gives up running.
They can, oh yeah, Wisp Abaddon. I didn't actually think about that, but anything that can buff up your attack speed on Abaddon is really good.
But mainly, like, the reason we don't think about that is because whenever we see Gyro or Tiny, you know that 90-95% of the time, the IO has one target he'll tether to, and he'll never change.
Yeah.
So it's easy to overlook that. And they're rotating top. Emma a little bit too far forward. This is kind of a critical moment. I feel like if he dies here, you lose 2 more towers. Reload coming in. Magic Missile is out. And they'll hold the stun for maximum efficiency. Just the tip is enough to bring him down. And they could just stay here and take 2 towers. At that stage, HellRaisers, their map is going to get extremely small. They're pinging out.
They're definitely leaving Gyro here. Because old Z-Freak's going back to his death.
Oh, well, there you go. That's a little booster. FN got one of the best items he could at the tier 2. Got the Vampire Fangs.
Dude, I'm so surprised they actually rotated back. Look at that. They rotated really fast. They brought Venge and Abaddon through the mid lane, and then Chessie Boots had traveled in. It almost looked like they wanted to fight if there wasn't like a full 5-man there, or a full 4-man, which Jibe is gonna get, kind of poked at, but long gone are the days of Viper effortlessly killing Abaddon.
But it could still happen, but it's less likely. As they don't really care for their Nevertoxin as much anymore. They just want to press Q a bunch of times. But, oh no, they dropped the split. Pexu thought about going for it again, but lost vision in the tree line. They swap out to allow Chessie to retreat. The Cyclone's been thrown out, but I don't think it holds it. Yeah, Viper's not even coming. He's indecisive. He's like, do I really come bot? Looks like it's not going to be the case. Top, they will just stop the pushing because the big opportunity that OGC did miss out on is not pushing for this tier 1 tower and just trying to milk the gold off the map. Hexu is now going to die, though, as FM finally arrives. You will see Chessie escape quickly. Chessie, by the way, having an implore. He'll finally drop it. I was about to say, that's not for you, buddy. That is definitely a gyrocopter item.
Is Dragonlance the build on Terrorblade? I have not...
It's a good stat
I've
booster.
played with a fair amount of Terrorblades. I guess I just didn't pay attention to their item builds.
He doesn't even need that for a kill. Jibei gets found out. I think it's okay. Like, you don't want to be too close, right? You want to try and keep your distance because Lestrak does a lot of damage. And if you go BKB too quickly, there's a chance the Gyro just out-damages you with how quickly his team is farming. That's got to be the full process.
The build-up and the stats are quite nice, so it's I could see it. It's a nice little filler item. Unfortunately, it won't really change his game until he has BKB.
No, and that's the problem. Like, you're going to be further away from that BKB. Because usually you try, like, as a TB, there's a fine line where you try and milk as much time before you need it, right? Because it's such a high-impact hero for BKB, and you want to take these really convincing fights, and if you get it too quickly, do your other cores really have anything that enables you to get killed? The answer feels like not right now. Then the bigger question, I guess, is will they ever? Like, Bobo just going to try and build to keep you more alive with the pipe next, and you've got a BKB being queued up on Viper, but Viper kind of feels like it has the same issue that TB does, right? Where it's like, deliver me kills, feed me. It's the same kind of motion where they're not really going to be the catch. That leaves you with what? 2 defensive supports? Maybe you can get a good long-range catch lift from the Rubik?
Oh, Grove Bow Viper.
Okay, there we go. That's fixed everything. He has catch. He has catch. He always has 15 as well.
An extra 100 attack range, which by itself is already good. Sure, a little bit more attack speed, no problem. Poison attack gets the stacked up that much quicker. But the 12% on a hero that literally every part of his kit is magic damage, even his right click, because he gets poison attack as well as Maelstrom. Viper can turn into a really good scaling core, and Grove Bow certainly helps push you a little bit faster that direction.
I was about to say, he's almost got 15 as well, so he'll get the attack range talent on top of that. So maybe the strategy at this rate is that HellRaisers, they don't necessarily have to definitively beat OG Seed in a fight, but they get to a point where they just so obnoxiously take buildings that OG Seed get forced to make a play.
Yeah. This is, I mean, HellRaisers definitely put themselves in a position that I was asking after game 1, which was give yourself better late game and see if you can beat OG Seed by letting them smash into you. And,
okay, they're smashing in right now. Hexu, stunned up, will go down. The split has already been committed, though. They need to find more for this. Cyclone's going to come out to Io. Madara doesn't want to break the tether, but he will leave him behind and bring him back with him. Looks like that might be the end of the engagement. They need to get out cleanly here, however. So he did use the split for this, and Chessie is wrapping around. Has to use in 4 seconds. And Bobo, oh, he's just been ditched. He'll get drunk and try and run away, but good luck. Slowly run him down with his curse coming out. Chessie should be tanky enough with his Photic Shield, most definitely. Viper Strike coming out now. The lift. Last one up. Glimmer Cape to try and keep him alive. The Yules will buy him some time. The cooldown to scare away Viper as well. Chessie is going to live. Madara is getting extremely low. We'll look to heal up now with the Vampire Fangs. And the assistance to Z-Freak, who is being scared away. Splinter Blast plus the range. Viper picks off the IO. And that's the entrance kill they need. BKB activated. Madara still running away, but Bobo just trying to break him down. Chessie retreats to the north. And it looks like Jibei is going to drag the attention of the side of HellRaisers to the south. He activates the borrowed time. Look at the kill on Maposhka. Can't find it. Does at least make space for his team to get out. Will he be so lucky himself? A Photic Shield to try and buy some time. No lift for 10 seconds. And Jibei just being overwhelmed by the attack range of HellRaisers. Still not enough. They give up. A frustrating kill, an unachievable one in the end. It's only an IO casualty.
That was, shout out to Maposhka in that team fight, by the way. He had, like, a lot of different fires he needed to put out in that engagement. Like, he gets that good winner's curse. Then, farther up north, he gives a cold embrace to the Brewmaster while still joining the rest of his team for the big engagement with Splinter Blast and stuff. Like, he did a lot in that team fight, really set them up for success. You can see how this range and being able to keep their distance against a Leshrac and a Gyrocopter, who are both range cores, yes, but both heroes that want to get on top of you, and then an Abaddon as well. Like, you just want to keep your distance against this lineup. Between all of the attack range that this Viper has, with the Grofo plus the level 15 talent, and this Terrorblade during Metamorphosis with the Dragonlance, they actually showcase how they can really beat OG Seed in this mid game without BKBs. Once they do have BKBs, their lineup's going to look really sick.
He missed that BKB
Sadly,
as well. Because
not fast enough to get there for the Aegis.
no, Aegis will be picked up by the man who had to use the 10-second BKB just to run away from the Brewmaster at the end of that fight as well.
Yeah.
So you're already burning through these crucial BKBs on your gyrocopter. You'll already see that Chessie is queued up with BKB next as well. There is a real big concern about armor, though, for this team. You need someone providing additional armor, really. I mean, you have got... You know, if this was a game where you had... I'm trying to think what hero would really fill that gap. Because, like, we saw Abaddon build Crimson Guard earlier. And it felt like a desperation item. So you can tell he kind of wants to avoid it. But it would really be useful against the TV. And also later, the Viper tends to start hitting very hard once he reaches 20 talent.
You know, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. It's kind of changed my analysis over the course of about a year. I mean, it's been in a subtle idea over the last 2 or 3 years, but like styles of play. Both players and teams have preferred styles of play, and I think it's something that we just don't talk quite enough about. We kind of act like, oh, everybody can play everything sort of deal. A good Dota player can, you know, like a good offlaner can play any offlaner, you know.
How do you not know how to play Darkseid? Come on. Was the classic
Yeah,
one.
but it's like, you know, we're going to watch Vampire die. No big deal.
It's fine. That happens a lot.
But like there are preferred styles of play, and the best thing about Dota is that different styles of play can all be successful. And you know, just watching this HellRaiser team, I think they look a lot better on the defensive with the timer on the enemy team. Just kind of the way that they always position themselves in team fights, they look like they always kind of want to bait you in, and get you to overcommit to a fight. They don't necessarily look very good when they're the ones just kind of rushing in and like all in committing onto a hero or something like that.
Yeah, they've got a very strong kind of stand your ground style of play. I think it's the best way to look at it. And I'm glad you bring that up because I think it's like something that we don't talk about that much. How there's just a big fight, maybe like the happen Pexu. He's gonna stay alive. Big heal's coming out. And now the cooldown Madara chasing on a vampire who only just respawned will go down. FM with a BKB. Chasing, looking for that kill to finish off Pexu. Z-Freak will reload Madara out. Jibe is still waiting around here. It wasn't a far away reload. They're gonna try and clean up Bobo now. And this is the big weakness of the Brewmaster, the Bruce. But he's gonna come out full health. Bobo able to stand his ground. Madara is gonna go down. Aegis has already been claimed. Buyback will come out from Venge. Io able to move away for the moment. Bobo's just still tapping away at them to force them further back. When his curse is going to come out, Gyro turning on his own support here. Z-Freak, they're trying to keep him alive. It's too late though. The Thunder comes out and the movement forward with the BKB. Elmo jumps straight on top of Madara. The buyback from Z-Freak won't achieve enough as Madara will still be brought down. Alongside Chessie, they'll turn around now. Poshka won't die for this, but Pexu will. And that's going to be his dieback. They're chasing, looking for more. Jibe will be able to get away as he has the borrowed time soon. They don't see it being worth the risk. They still need to get rid of this tier 1 tower.
Great fight. Again, HellRaisers, like, they take an engagement on their own high ground around their shrine. Like, Madara feels pressured, I guess, in some ways. Like, he wants to try and get this kill. He pops his BKB, and HellRaisers just kind of, like, slowly roll at them. You know, once they get this catch, because they know the Aegis doesn't matter, right? Like, normally it does on Gyrocopter, because you're a relatively low cooldown hero that's pretty, usually ahead in net worth, so you're usually very effective with your second life. But Terrorblade is one of those anti-Aegis heroes where, because of Metamorphosis and how overwhelmingly strong you are in a team fight, like very oftentimes Aegis's second lives just don't matter. You died once, you're gonna die again because Terrorblade's set up with a bunch of illusions on top of you.
No, it's true. And also, Gyro doesn't really feel good with Aegis when you're in the back foot, right? They were constantly falling back at that point. And it's good from HellRaisers. They just pivot this fact that this is their high ground. They always have the shrine. Worst case scenario, you can buy back and get more heroes in. And just always playing around that TB. He held the BKB for a while before using it as well.
Jesus, he's going to have MKB on Viper. Another, like,
oh boy,
really good source of magic damage. Obviously, the butterfly being
built
by Madara is going to get full countered.
They just picked up the Titan Sliver as well.
huge pickup for Terrorblade. If he can fit it in. He's about to complete S and Y. He can drop his Wraith Band for that. Your base stat. Like, he's sitting at 167 damage right now. I think Metamorphosis is not green damage. I think it's base damage.
Yeah, I believe
I'm
it
not
is,
sure
because
about
it's
that,
listed
but-
as bonus damage, so it should increase that. And on top of it, like, you're lacking on lockdown for this TB as it is. When he has like 30% stage resistance, that just isn't going to work. But Poshka does get spotted out, but Chessie's the one who has to leave, and it's too late. He'll at least take the Wyvern to the grave with him, but the bigger kill claim by HellRaisers. He baits himself in.
Freak. He
He reload.
relocated in to try and save him, so...
They at least
Great.
don't know. Okay, now they know.
The IO, by the way, is one of the heroes that has the most RNG. Like, how do I put this? The items that you
Neutral
can get
items.
in Dota 2, the neutral items that you can get, are incredibly impactful on IO. I think they're more impactful than they are on any other hero.
Yeah, like Essence Ring is ridiculously good on Z-Freak on this IO.
Yeah.
Craggy Coat's not bad. I feel like that should be on the
Oh,
Leshrac though.
Yeah, I mean, Craggy Code is really good on the IO as well, because you know you're always going to be targeted. It just a little bit sucks that it's Viper that's going to be dealing with them a lot, which is all that magic damage. But think about all the other items, right? It's like Vambrace is incredibly good. Nether Shawl is really good on you. Any of the stat items like Pupil Gift is not going to be too bad. Any of those regen items, he got an Arcane Ring. Like, they're all so impactful.
Yeah.
Greater Fairy Fire, insane.
That's what I was about to say. Amazing. Flicker is a weird one, but if you're like near the end of Tethers, you can try and play around it to dodge out attempts.
Catch on mid. They
Darn
already managed to force him to use his Primal Split, so... Oh, no!
The stun does hit, but the Winner's Curse coming out. Z-Freak is going to get low, and he might just fall here. Overcharge trying to stay alive. We'll go back in 3 seconds, but Tethers across in time. He should break this Tether, and we'll go back on his own as they're able to chase down and kill off Bobo. No one was coming to help him. This is, once again, kind of like that playstyle you're talking about, right? Like, once again, HellRaisers, when they are on the defensive with allies nearby, they can turn. You almost saw it work from Poshka there, but when they're playing forward and they're the ones being aggressive and stop pushing too much, it does tend to backfire a little. But I'm glad you brought up that point as well, because I feel in Dota it's easy to not talk about playstyles because there is so much complexity to the game already, right? The variables at play, all the different heroes, different playstyles, the builds. Whereas in games like CSGO or Call of Duty, these games that maybe have less variables, there's an it's easier to kind of discern the playstyles and how they match up differently, right? Like, this team likes pushing X a lot more, or this team likes using this type of weapons more. Whereas we get kind of wrapped up in this hero counters this hero, and these heroes look for timing around 20 minutes, while these ones are super late game.
Yeah, and you get the, like, a little bit greater feel for, like, team identity with those kind of ideas. And then people attach themselves to teams more often, which is always good, I think, for, like, sports and esports, for people to be fans of teams, of a unit as a whole.
Yeah.
It's never a bad thing. But, like, most reason I didn't really talk about it a lot of times, you know, besides, like, OEG is, you know, a farming team, which they've been for, like, 5 years straight or something like that, you know, is that I felt like it wasn't as big of a factor. But, like, OG especially, I think really showed how important, like, the mental game aspect is, how important, like, being able to enable one or two people to really play their style of Dota very nicely. You know, they truly believe that they had the best 5 players in the world, you know, in their positions. And I don't think anybody else would back them up on that, you know. But then they won TI 2 times in a row, and obviously you can make a strong argument for that now. So little things like that have really made me think, oh, bottom.
Chessie, stun out. Winner's Curse has been used, but something with Chessie alone, he still has the BKB. Viper Strike coming out to try and deter Madara, who's going to chase him. BKB gets activated, is on the chase. FN has his own BKB. With the right clicks, we'll be able to whittle him down. D-Freak will reload back on the other side. Want to see if they can catch someone on the retreat. The split has been used, and Bobo is in a little bit too deep here. Magic Missile comes out. They should be able to clean him up on their own. They're still chasing on the TV. Chessie, he goes a step too far, though. The Yule's to try and protect himself. Still has the BKB. No, he won't use it. He's just dead and gone. No assistance coming out from the team as Jaro and I are too late to reconnect to the fight. Once again.
Good fight ruined. good fight ruined by Chessie just going in too deep. He's like trying to chase his Terrorblade, and understandably he's thinking like he already used his BKB. Maybe I can catch him. It would be a massive win, right? If they could kill him, but
Yeah, but you're
needed
too
to pay a
squishy.
little bit more attention to where the rest of his allies are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they relocated back out. The rest of the team was very distracted by Maposhka, who was creating a lot of space, honestly. He did so many little things. He Glimmer Cape to dodge Magic Missile. He gets swapped in, blinks out because he took no damage at that point in time. Like, again, Maposhka doing a really excellent job in team fights. His overall awareness of where to be in the engagement and his reaction time has been really strong.
Absolutely, and it just, you're playing again that playstyle we talked about, right? Like, HellRaisers want to fall back and hold ground, especially with a TB in their lineup, and Chessie just breaching like that. He doesn't have the armor to stand his ground against the TB. It's not like he's impenetrable. Now Madara chasing up into the high ground in this infamous choke point. They might just chase on, mech heal up, swap to get him out. That should be the end of it right there, but he did just get the steal on the swap, so here comes Pexu. See you later, sucker. Now the winner's curse coming out as well on a Z-Freak. Gonna bring him pretty low. Splinter Blast as well. Willing away at him. Io's gonna go down. BKB comes out with Madara, standing his ground and fight, but so will Elmo. He refuses to leave now, and they're just kind of not caring about it. They're gonna turn around to Bobo. Nice swap out to save his life. Does have split in 10 seconds, but straight in the arms of Chessie, who's waiting. BKB will be activated. Able to bring him down in time. Buyback will come out from Wyvern after Io as well. Looks like they're gonna TP in, reset on the high ground. HellRaisers feeling a lot more confident after that first bout. Will be a retreat by OG as well to heal up. The Io is back alive after that buyback though, so they could fight in. And I feel like at the end of that, you'd want to say that OG comes out a bit stronger, but the real concerning part for me, Cap, is that Elmo didn't even have Metamorphosis in that fight.
Oh yeah, for me that was a clear win for HellRaisers. That like OG Seed, they don't need the OGs to tell them what's going wrong here. I hope that they just look back on the replays. They're smart enough players to know this. They've got to stop fighting around that choke point. It's triggering me real bad. Shout out to Vampire though. 6 steal. Swap is amazing because you get both charges and you've got longer range too, right? So.
Yep. And Swap's going to come out. Actually going to push. Get hit. Down to half HP already. He's just gone. That's going to be the dieback. The Shrek is getting low. It looks like Chessie might go down. Can't get out. The Never Toxin in time. Buyback does come out. Elmo has the Minimalist to run in, but the Aegis has already been picked up by Madara, and Jibe activates the borrowed time to back away. Elmo has got that Sunder. Madara will use his BKB, trying to force him away right now as Elmo's magic immunities ran out. They'll chase in, Rocket Barrage out, swap in, FN with the BKB will stand in ground, is fighting. The Sunder is good. Elmo is full HP, ready to fight once more. The swap looking good again on the side. They'll be able to find the pickoff on the FN, and Chessie barely moving away in time when the magic immunity is still running. But now Elmo has no Sunder, has no life, will be brought down his own Metamorphosis, and now things are looking all OG's way. Bobo limps away. Sure, you survived, but was it worth it now that you have no split left? Probably not. There'll be a reload back so that Io can heal up Chessie, but they are coming. They're coming for some buildings.
I think Bobo in his primal split threw the gyrocopter up in the air and then immediately dropped him again.
Yeah.
So like that was one little thing that was like I think HellRaisers kind of messed up a little bit there. But other than that, I was kind of surprised to see that fight go so poorly for HellRaisers. Large part of it was the fact that Chessie fought back. Really good use of buyback by Chessie. Kind of positioning himself on the front line, knowing that they needed that little extra helping hand that he can, if the fight goes a little sour, buy back and boots of travel back in and convincingly win the engagement.
And getting that plate mail as well has helped him so much. You saw how quickly he was mounted to TB. He keeps him alive for 1-2 hits longer and allows him to lurk around and be a frustration. And they were being pretty elegant about the way that they forced TB's early BKB and just waited out, right? You saw the patience because they knew once he's after that point, there's no good Sunder target for him. And even if he gets it out, it's too late. And now they're going to lose more heroes. They chase in. Pexu goes down. A little bit too deep, but Rubik now dead for 95 seconds. A 1-for-1 trade favoring OG. Dara hit up by the Viper Strike, but Io's there to protect once more. They have split in 25, and they're buying enough time. They might even get Metamorphosis. 30 seconds until Elmo is ready to fight again.
This is hard. You're pushing into a Viper, but at the same time, Metamorphosis is still down for 30 seconds, and this melee Rax is almost dead.
They'll be able to get it. Now they just need to get out clean. Can they do it? Madara is getting extremely low. Not low enough. I'm able to keep him up and healthy. Even has the cheese if need be. He doesn't need it.
Okay, well, if you're HellRaisers, just kind of reset and remind yourself, like, one lane of barracks is not that big of a deal. Like, you only just now got your level 20 before the end of that fight even happened on Terrorblade, so he's now got the reflection. every 8 seconds. That's pretty impactful.
Also, you look at the plus side, right? Like, you're in a situation where it's not the end of the world. Even when they've got their hands on this Aegis, they have 2 heroes that brought back in that huge engagement. So, HellRaisers do have targets in these fights, which can give them a convincing win over OG Seed. If you can maybe find Leshrac split pushing again, for example, or taking away the IO is double value now because he no longer has the means to buy back reload in.
Yeah, there's definitely, like, they win one team fight, they're going to get a lot back for it. Off these long death timers, but OG not giving him any space to work with. They say this Gyrocopter's at his peak of power. He's got Satanic and Butterfly. They're absolutely right.
Bobo will go for the split straight away. Reflection will slow him down. Winner's Curse is going to come out onto Z-Freak, but it's not enough damage just yet. Metamorphosis, Viper Strike, everything tossed into this eye to try and bring him down. Cooldown. Dara realizes he has to fight, chase in. BKB comes down from FN, he's zoning him away. And Io is still alive and healthy after he eats the cheese. And now Elmo in a lot of trouble. Does have the Sunder to work with. But Dara won't give him a good opportunity. He just backs off completely. Bobo goes down before the split can even end. Buys back straight away. But now you have no split. How do you get him out of your base? Madara is refusing to leave. That's going to be another melee racks falling. They could just rotate bot right now. You don't really have much left in the chamber. The Metamorphosis is going to run out very soon as well. Jibe will hit the borrowed time just in time. Heal's coming out. Bobo. Split Earth is off the mark. He is going ever deeper. Now he needs to retreat, but the home missile clumps into his face. They better stand the ground. Colin Brace coming out. Viper Strike as well. Chessie has gone a little bit deeper and get a touch to the BKB. He's dead. That's going to be his dieback as well. Now Badara trying to heal up with the use of the Satanic to stay alive long enough, but Aegis is already gone. Chibe chased on the next. Swap will be out in time. Peck 2 with the magic missile to retreat as well. But they need to get Madara the hell out. The Yules interrupts Io's escape plan. Madara has to stand his ground against 4. No assistance really coming his way either. He will fall. Sunder across. Z-Freak, the next target, has been slowed down. Glimmer Cape TP out. Should be successful, but there's the lift. Long range from Vampire, able to get across in time. Another dive back for the side of OG Seed. Yes, you lose 2 lanes, but HellRaisers might be able to finally get out on the map.
I have to say, I respect the hell out of OG Seed for making that play. I think that's the kind of, like, game-winning decision-making of just saying, like, hey, we're really strong right now. We've got this cheese. We still have Aegis. Our Gyrocopter's pretty much capped out, right? He's not really going to get that much stronger. He can buy the Ags upgrade and then have an empty slot and stuff. But, like, compared to a Terrorblade, this is about as strong as you're going to get. I respect the hell out of them for going for that second lane of racks. Even if they die at the end there, it doesn't really change too much for me. I think it was the right decision to be made. I think they're still significantly far ahead because, in part, of that decision. They only need 1 lane of racks now, 1 team fight to be able to end the game, or maybe, we'll see. HellRaisers could maybe stand up against Megas. They're probably not getting punished too heavily for not having their buybacks since they diebacked on both the IO and the Leshrac. It's probably at worst 1 lane of barracks, maybe at best just a tier 3.
Well, they still have the glyph to work with. This is the other reason they were enabled by that play a little bit, is they always have the means to get rid of one of these waves, and there it is. We look clear the entire wave. Will it be enough? It's forcing them off. They're pinging out already. They see Madara has arrived. He'll just go straight out. Needs to be careful. The lift lasts a long time at this stage. Not long enough though with Satanic, and there is BKB comes out, split as well. Elmo uses his own BKB. Madara needs to retreat before he becomes a good Sunder target though. They do get the Taz, swap out. Elmo pretty deep right now. Magic Missile as well. He can't. No, there it is. Sunder out just in time. The Winner's Curse buys enough time that Madara can't kill him off. But Madara, will he go down? Yes, he's dead. He actually needs to buy back right now. It should be a good one. Elmo is getting low. No Sunder left. Chessie able to run him through. Chase forward for more. Magic Missile, long range to the bow burst. The split ends. They'll find him on the exit as well. And that is a perfect pick-off as well, as he will have no means to defend and is dead for an extremely long time. This should be the moment.
Again, play style, man. OG Seed looked so good using their buybacks. Chess used it pretty good around this Roshan fight. Madara choosing to take that fight like that. It looks stupid, right? It's like a 3 versus like 4 or 5 with TP having Metamorphosis. Like, what are you doing? But at the same time, like, he once again set it up so now they're just like 1 fight away from losing the game. HellRaisers is going to have to play in a 4 versus 5 for one last reign of barracks with no Brewmaster of all heroes.
And also no Metamorphosis for 90 seconds. This is just a scenario. I think OG just trying to end the game. Buyback comes out. Just the Wyvern though. Winner's Curse in 20 seconds. They'll get through the tier 4s before you actually have that ultimate available. Elmo chasing a little bit. Swap out. Keep Chessie safe. Down to half HP already. They're forcing Madara away. Doesn't want to commit that BKB for nothing. Swap in though now. He says perfect. Stick me in deep. But the problem is he doesn't have Satanic anymore. Z-Freak needs to save him. Mech to heal him up a little bit. No tether for 1 second. Meanwhile, Vampire's going to be brought down. Chessie going over deep at Cold Embrace to try and keep FN alive, but it might be the end of his life instead. Thunder to try and help out as well. Elmo's doing anything he can, but it's too late. OG will obliterate HellRaisers' hopes here. The winner's curse comes out. It's a cute kill, but it won't stop them from taking the throne and forcing the easy GG.
Oh, I love seeing a team win like that, man. That is such a cool way to win. The choice, right? I just see a very clear decision making and style coming out from OG Seed. You know, it's like they literally got together this 5-man that they cobbled together, and they said, "This is how we want to play Dota." They decided that, and they bought into it more than anything else. And they just said, like, "Hey, we're gonna play aggressively off of our buybacks. We're gonna utilize our buybacks to be able to win team fights well, to put the enemy on the back foot at all times." Like, again, Monera choosing to stand and fight at that point means that a couple things. If they don't kill him, and they just back off, well, they've used Metamorphosis, and they're gonna go down bottom lane and finish off Megas. And if he does die and he buys back, they're probably gonna win that team fight, which is what happens. So either way, it's like a win-win scenario that comes with like some inherent risk, but the reward is so great. It just ends the game. They just made 2 plays, basically, maybe 3 actually, with the Roshan fight as well, of like very decisive moves where they're just like, we're going to force this game right here, right now. And they did, back to back to back, and just won the game off of it.
No, it's respectable, because I feel like we see too many teams where they're playing the min risk for the min gains, right? This is a high-risk play. But in the actuality, especially when you look at the way that HellRaiser's lineup functions, it's not as high risk as you originally think, because you're talking about a TB that if you force him in a metamorphosis in his own base, it's all confirmed to have in time. You'll probably all be up again. Split is a huge cooldown as well. So it's just kind of playing HellRaisers off their own abilities and their lack of uptime on said abilities, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's like a big part of especially why like this isn't kind of a staple example of the way OGC played this, but in general, this is a big issue we see with heroes like DP, Brewmaster, Terrorblade. Is like right now, with the tempo that the game is played at, with the way the meta has shifted, you need to be active more often, right? And if you're forced this scenario where you need the game to go to 45 minutes and you have to take this big team fight, you're really vulnerable to these lineups that have things like the Leshrac and the Gyrocopter that have next to no uptime and can just try and leverage that first 20 minutes to maximum effect. So that does mean we have a quick day, though, as OGC do take a 2-0 over HellRaisers. And I'm just checking what the schedule is looking like, because that is us done for the day, Cap.
Yeah.
But
pretty easy.
Yeah, you know, this online stuff is simple, Cap. You know, you just come in, you do 4 games, you go home, you get paid. You come home, come back tomorrow. It's going to be another 2-0, 2-0. I don't know which way, but I mean, we haven't got the final script yet, Cap. Right?
If I had to guess, just based off of looking at it, let's see. The Flight of Moon matchup, it's kind of hard because I actually don't know how good Flight of Moon is. But I think they're favored against Viking GG since Viking GG lost Tanner.
Yes, they've changed their lineup.
Tanner, the
2 to 3 heroes. Tanner has gone across to NIP. PPD. He knows UK talent when he sees it. Bless him. And then I believe Gentleman versus Nemiga. And Nemiga's the surprising one, actually, because they beat OG Seed in the best of 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know almost anybody on Nemiga. I know Fervian.
That's Nemiga for you.
I've heard of Chosen One. And maybe Nefrit. Nefrit played on somebody.
Nefrit was on
right?
Viking, I believe it was at one point. As
he was on Wind and Rain and
that's
Price or whatever that team was called.
Yeah, so he was on Wind and Rain because, interesting enough, Nefrit was part of a bundled deal with the carry they had. Because Tanner, I think, was on that team as well around that time, was signed. So there's a little bit of jostling around those players there. But gentlemen,
well, that's definitely the bottom half of this bracket is not. They are not the teams that I expect to see in the finals. Right?
That's fair.
Looking at the group stage initially, I would not have guessed that any of those teams would be in the grand finals, but one of them will be because of this single bracket and stuff. So and you know the way they did in their group stage, Nemiga being able to beat OG Seed means that OG Seed is up there in you know having to match up against Singularity, who I think is a very strong team. So
that's true, and it's like Nemiga. Yes, they beat OG Seed in a best of 1, but it's a best of 1, right? Like you can't use that as a good sample of a team. Best of